Live from KSAT 12. The 6 o'clock news starts right now.
Mass confusion, no clear command. That's how Border Patrol agents described the scene at Robb Elementary the day of the massacre. 149 Border Patrol agents responded that very day, which is the largest presence of any agency.
U.S. Customs and Border Protection releasing a report on their response to that shooting. A team of KSAT journalists have spent the past few hours pouring through the 200-plus page report. Our Daniela Ibarra has been speaking with some of the families of the victims as well. Daniela, they knew this report was coming.
Yeah, they got the heads up earlier this week, and earlier today they actually picked up the binders with the reports. And the families actually met with Border Patrol yesterday. Now, this is the third report that they've gotten from any agency about the response to the shooting this year. It took law enforcement 77 minutes to breach the classroom. Now, this body camera video is from a Uvalde police officer. The report reveals only one Border Patrol agent had their body cam on. Like several agencies who responded, Border Patrol agents said they didn't know who was in charge. The report says a Border Patrol tactical unit exchanged gunfire with the shooter and killed him. 19 kids and 2 teachers died in the massacre. Many of their families have been pushing for answers and, more importantly, accountability. Brett Cross says this report doesn't do that.
Every single one of these cops should have, at bare minimum, walked away. Like they did on May 24th, they should have walked away. They should have realized that they were not man or woman enough to hold down these positions and actually put their lives on the line for children. And they should have done what was best for us and everybody in this community and this state, and that is to walk away.
By the way, no names of Border Patrol agents or personnel were included in that report. They've all been redacted, which Cross says is frustrating for him. Another crucial detail, the investigation says none of the Border Patrol personnel violated any rule or law. Nobody from Border Patrol was disciplined. Now, we're still going through the report. You can read it for yourself right now on KSAT.com.
No accountability, no names. Thank you, Danielle. After several innings worth of discussion, the San Antonio City Council this afternoon gave the go-ahead for a downtown minor league baseball stadium. The council voted 9-2 on the broad strokes of a deal to create a $160 million ballpark for the San Antonio Missions along San Pedro Creek.
So the plan relies on redeveloping the surrounding area around where the stadium would be to pay for the construction. And while supporters say it's a home run, Garrett Berger tells us that those in the way of the development are crying foul ball.
This empty downtown lot along San Pedro Creek could be a new stadium by the opening day of 2028.
By putting that in the middle of the town, it's going to be available to so many more folks.
A key vote came after a meeting today that lasted much longer than a ball game, with dozens of people on hand to root for the project.
My kids have chased the Puffy Taco. They've run the bases. They've been there, and we would love for you guys to support this project.
Or boo it.
It's ridiculously clear that this plan is designed to put public dollars into the pockets of Graham Weston and his partners.
It's a deal between the city, Bexar County, downtown developer Weston Urban, and the ownership group of the San Antonio Missions, which includes Weston Urban's co-founders. Much of the surrounding redevelopment of the area would be at the Soap Factory Apartments, whose residents have loudly opposed how the process has unfolded.
Please include us at the table when negotiating plans that directly have to do with us. We are humans, not a business deal.
A displacement plan for the residents includes money from Weston Urban and the city for moving expenses, lays out possible alternative places for them to go, and brings on an outside group for housing navigation. But residents aren't sold, and we're hoping council would delay the vote.
The plan presented to us at 8 p.m. last night, just 13 hours before today's conversation, was not well thought out, was hastily written, and doesn't keep our best interest in mind, nor does it include our voices.
Some council members tried unsuccessfully to delay.
Okay, motion fails.
But it went through.
Motion carries.
The mayor has been one of the plan's strongest supporters.
A new home for the Missions has been discussed for years. I told them, bring us a deal that I can stand up for on its merits. This is that deal. It is providing an amenity for downtown San Antonio that we want, but we also want to make sure it doesn't come at the expense of our local residents.
This still needs the county's sign off. No word for sure on when that will be, but commissioners' next meeting is October 8th. Garrett Berger, KSAT 12 News.
San Antonio police are looking for a driver who made an already bad situation much worse. They say that driver hit 2 people already involved in a crash, then took off. One of those people died. Katrina Weber spoke with neighbors who woke up to the horrible news practically on their front doorsteps.
The not quite daylight made it tough to see what was going on. But people who live near the scene of this crash near Babcock Road in St. Cloud definitely got an earful.
I was pulling out and I heard a thud, and I pulled back in because I thought it was a gunshot.
This man, who didn't want to reveal his identity, found out later what he heard before 7 this morning likely was the sound of a car hitting at least one person. San Antonio police say the driver of this pickup, a man in his 60s, somehow hit a woman in the middle of the street. When he stopped to check on her, police say another car came along and hit them both.
I may have heard a car speed off, but I didn't get a good look at anything. I didn't process it was a hit and run.
Police processed the scene and could tell from the evidence the runaway car was gray in color. Meanwhile, another neighbor also heard the commotion, then noticed the injured woman right outside his gate.
Her hand was on our driveway and she was laying there, and then a policeman came over and put a yellow cover on her.
The woman, hit first by the pickup, then the gray car, died from her injuries. The pickup driver, also hit by that car, was taken to a hospital. While neighbors tell us they heard what happened, police are looking for someone or something that may have seen it. More specifically, they want to find cameras that may have captured the car that took off. Investigators went door to door hoping for that kind of help. For now, though, the driver who ran away seems to have gotten away with it. Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
A pre-trial hearing took place this morning for the man charged in the brutal attack of his ex-wife and 2 young daughters. This morning, attorneys for Stephen Clare filed a motion for Child Protective Service records to be handed over to them. The judge granted that request. Also, attorneys for the state are saying that the gun that was used in the crime was found. It's now being tested. Clare is accused of shooting his ex-wife, Mariah Gardner, as well as stabbing his daughters, Rosalie and 11-month-old Willow, in April of last year. Willow did not survive her injuries, and the trial is expected to start early next year. By the way, Clare is facing the death penalty if he's convicted.
A judge today ordering a halt into the search of digital devices confiscated by the Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton's office into an investigation into illegal vote harvesting.
This has been an ongoing story. The former chair of the Bexar County Democratic Party, Manuel Medina, is one of the people whose homes was searched. Erica Hernandez was at the hearing, and she tells us what happens next.
Just 2 weeks after having his home searched by the Texas Attorney General's office, Manuel Medina appeared in court. Medina says the state didn't have a search warrant to look through the digital devices taken from his home. The search is part of an investigation claiming Medina was recorded discussing a scheme to collect votes for Texas House Democratic candidate Cecilia Castellano, whom he was a former aide to. Castellano had her phone seized as a part of this investigation as well.
We're not trying to interfere. We're not trying to stop the investigation. Just make sure that we protect our privileges and confidentiality.
Jerry Goldston, who represents Medina, told Judge Sid Harrell that proper protocols were not followed and that the search warrant was signed for his home, not to search his devices. According to a court filing, 65 cell phones and 41 computers were taken. Harrell said the filing was premature and ordered the search of the devices be halted for now. Castellano was in attendance and told us this was all just an attack by Ken Paxton and Governor Greg Abbott.
I call it the voter intimidation department. That's what we call it. And we're not going to back down. We're going to keep fighting.
So what happens next? Well, unless another judge signs off on the AG's office being able to search those devices or Medina is indicted, nothing really is expected to happen right now. So we will continue to follow this investigation and see how it evolves. Erica Hernandez, KSAT 12 News.
We reached out to the 81st District Attorney Audrey Gossett Lewis. She represents Frio County in this case. Lewis tells us she is pleased the court agreed with their motion and says that order was indeed premature.
All right, now we're going to talk about what is happening outside. And my friends, look at that beautiful picture right there. 94 degrees. Our Adam Caskey is telling us about those summer-like temperatures that we're getting.
Yeah, made it up to 95 for the high temperature today, and that's 4 degrees above average. And get used to these above average temperatures going forward for several more days. At least a week and a half is what we're thinking. The record high, 103, set back in 1893, and the record low of 56. That would have felt nice back in 1968. Elsewhere, we did hit 100 in Laredo today. Freer at 98 for the high. Del Rio, Eagle Pass 97, and Carrizo Springs and Cotulla just 1 degree shy of triple digits, along with New Braunfels. As I mentioned, going forward, we're going to feel the summer-like warmth here. Upper 90s next couple of days, mid 90s into next week. We'll talk about the tropics and a few new systems out there in just a bit.
All right, thank you, Adam. Let's check out traffic, and let's go to 410 in Fredericksburg. Number of vehicles that are pulled off to the side there, I count 3 of them, and then the Hero vehicle, which actually has a sign on the back that tells people that there's an accident ahead. Actually looks like one of the members of the Frio vehicle, or the Hero vehicle. You see him there in the green, checking on people inside these cars. Again, it's 410 at Fredericksburg. Traffic still moving along, no lanes closed, but there are cars pulled off to the side.
This year's Head for the Cure 5K right around the corner. It's going to be on September 28th at Providence Catholic School. You can register right now. Scan the QR code on your screen. Start there. It'll take you directly to the website to register. And all of the money that's raised for this event, at this event, is going to go to brain cancer research. If you want more info, just visit ksatcommunity.com.
An inside look at how inspectors come up with restaurant scores. Metro Health inspectors visit dozens of restaurants each week. They invited us along as they checked out Papuli's on Huebner. They looked at the food, the cleaning supplies. While the process can be uncomfortable, owner Nick Anthony says the results are important.
When the health inspector comes in, we follow them because we want to learn from them as they go through. We're not perfect. No restaurant's perfect.
Tonight, we are literally taking you behind the kitchen door. We're going to tell you the score that Papuli's earned tonight on the Night Beat at 10.
Still ahead on the news at 6, Francine made landfall in Louisiana yesterday as a Category 2 storm, and we're going to show you the damage, all the damage along the southeast coast right after the break.
And taking a look outside with live cam, an update to the drought monitor. Meteorologist Adam Caskey will talk about the changes. They're good changes. It's coming up.
Friday the 13th is tomorrow, and it's known for bad luck. Oops, don't want to step on a crack. It's also known for horror and major deals on tattoos. So now tonight we go inside a shop, talk about tattoo popularity and what kind of specials you can expect tomorrow.
That's good for you, Steve, because I know you were thinking about getting one.
Yeah, no. John Paul's all over that one.
Yeah. So Francine is still pummeling the south as a tropical depression after it made landfall yesterday as a Category 2 hurricane in Louisiana. And that storm, oh boy, it's bringing heavy rain to Mississippi, Alabama, and the Florida Panhandle.
Yeah, thousands without power, many now cleaning up the damage. ABC's Ika Jachi in New Orleans, just north of where that storm came ashore.
Francine wreaking havoc in the south after it made landfall as a Category 2 hurricane in Louisiana.
We opened the door and we're like, oh my God. I mean, within 20 minutes, it was flooded outside.
Connie Yates' home in Kenner completely flooded as the storm moved in, the high water trapping her inside.
Everybody was calling, I wish I could come out. I said, and they like, get out, get out. And I'm like, where do we go? We can't get out. The water's all over.
Now she's left cleaning up what's left behind, along with thousands of others in the region. Heavy rain and high winds creating damage across the Gulf.
As of right now, have no reports of any storm-related fatalities, and we want to keep it that way.
Some areas seeing 5 to 6 inches of rain per hour. Streets completely inundated. Drivers abandoning their cars and walking instead. Power lines and trees torn down. Thousands left without power.
For us to be able to get our utilities back online, we want, if you do not have to be on the roadway, we urge you to stay off of the roadway.
Local and federal authorities surveying the area.
And we also have FEMA on the ground, with us already. So we're going to be taking a look at everything, getting those damage assessment reports in from our local partners and kind of determining a path forward.
Francine downgraded to a tropical depression this morning, but the winds are still strong and rain is pouring as it moves north. 4 to 8 inches of rain is possible for parts of Mississippi, Alabama, Arkansas, Georgia, Florida, and Tennessee.
Here in New Orleans, they certainly aren't strangers to flooding and hurricanes like this. Francine, the 6th hurricane to hit Louisiana since 2019. Ika Jachi, ABC News, New Orleans.
And here, obviously, the situation is a lot calmer. Our meteorologist Adam Caskey is here to tell us more about that.
Yes, we've got summer-like conditions around here. You know, we had that brief taste of fall over the weekend and even into the early part of the work week. But now it's back to summer-like conditions with high temperatures, upper 90s, which is almost record territory. Take a look at our headlines, and that's one of the main ones there. The heat index, keep in mind, is going to be right around 100, give or take a few degrees over the next few afternoons. And the drought monitor, it's updated. Like every Thursday, we like to bring it to you, and we do have some improvements to talk about. So let's get right to, I'm going to start with last week's drought monitor for the comparison, okay? And really focus right here in the hill country, Kerrville to Medina Lake Reservoir. 3, 2, 1. Oh, good to see, huh? One more time, should we do this again just for fun? Okay, this is last week's, and now 3, 2, 1. And it changes. We chipped away at the abnormally dry area, and we got rid of the extreme drought here in parts of the hill country, which is good. It's an improvement, but now we're going back into a dry stretch of weather that doesn't really give us much hope for rain. North Texas along the Red River, falling deeper into drought, and West Texas has the worst situation now with the extreme and exceptional drought. Still, just about a third of the state is considered in drought. Notice the remnants of Francine headed northward up the Mississippi River here, and some good soaking rain with it. I may say good rain because this is exactly the kind of rain we could use here, the remnants of a tropical system like that with just good rain. This is actually going to linger in the southeastern U.S. for several days because the remnants are being blocked by this upper level high that's over the Great Lakes that's really just going to stay in place and keep the energy and leftover moisture lingering over the southeastern U.S. So additional rainfall potential over the next 7 days on the order of 5 to 7 inches from parts of western Tennessee into Alabama, and even 3 to 4 inches potentially in and around Atlanta and parts of Georgia. And keep in mind, they're actually in a drought as well. They've got drought conditions, so this could be actually a drought breaker. Not just a drought denter, but a drought breaker for some of those areas. I know this is a pathetic graphic, 10% chance Sunday and Monday, but I want to point out we do have that very slight chance. Unfortunately, it's not very much. We have a tropical depression. This is number 7 out in the Atlantic, way out in the Atlantic. You can see Africa on the right-hand side of the screen. Yeah, it's way out in the Atlantic, headed west, could become low-end tropical storm over the next 5 days, and that would be Gordon. And we have a tropical storm, Ileana. Where'd you go, Ileana? Okay, well, anyway, that's headed north toward Cabo San Lucas, and the remnant leftover moisture in the atmosphere, the higher moisture aloft, is going to move our way on Sunday, basically over the weekend, and give us some higher clouds. You'll notice more cirrus clouds streaming overhead. I wish it would give us better rain chances. Unfortunately, it's not in the cards, as I showed you earlier. Right now we're at 94, dew point is 64. The humidity, it's there. We feel the mugginess, especially in the mornings. 89 in Tarpley right now. Comfort at 91. New Braunfels warm at 97. And we'll start the day tomorrow at 73, near 90 at noon, 97 for the high. But keep in mind, for a little bit in the afternoon, the heat index can make it up to 100 or a little above. Air temperatures back to triple digits. When I said feeling somewhere like Del Rio 102 tomorrow in Carrizo Springs at 102, Cotulla 101. So you get the idea, and it's going to be very similar the next few days. By Saturday, we'll be just a degree or two shy of the record high temperature, and we'll make it into the upper 90s.
Okay, thank you.
All right, one of the reasons this guy made the roster is what he provided on Sunday, Larry.
Yeah, Cavante Turpin. So he's returned some touchdowns to the house before, but there was a holding or a block in the back. Right. They got it returned, right? Had it taken back. Well, Sunday at Cleveland, that wasn't the case, and Turpin put on the speed, hitting a home run. And the Texans, a huge reason why they won their season opener is because they controlled the clock. Coming up.
So Saturday, obviously, we played. Sunday, we brought the guys up. We put the UTSA game to bed.
G.J. Kinney and his Bobcats had to move on quickly from the Roadrunners, with the Sun Devils heading to San Marcos in Big Board Sports. Week 2 in the NFL season kicks off tonight with the Bills at the Dolphins, and the Cowboys will play again on Sunday. During their Week 1 win, 33-17 at Cleveland, wideout Cavante Turpin broke off a 60-yard punt return for a touchdown early in the third frame that put the boys on top 27-3. That was Terp's first touchdown return of his career and the longest punt return in his 3-year NFL career.
Man, when I seen him, I just seen all my blockers doing just working their tail out, trying to get me free, man. At the same time, man, like I said, I want to give a shout out to all them guys, man. They be blocking their tail out ever since training camp, man, trying to get me free. And help me just came to life in Week 1. It's been a while, man. It seemed like I ain't had one in about 4 or 5 years, man. So it just feel good, man, just cross that pain, man. I want to give a shout out to CJ Goodwin and Jalen Brooks, man, just getting the return started the whole day. So I just want to give them a shout out.
And you know his blockers appreciate that. The boys will host the Saints Sunday at noon. Now, in the Houston Texans' 29-27 win in Indy on Sunday, the Texans controlled the game, holding the ball for 40 minutes compared to just 20 for the Colts. And you can thank Joe Mixon and the running attack for that, as the Texans racked up 213 yards on the ground, averaging 5.3 yards per rush. And Mixon had 159 yards and 1 touchdown.
The most important, I think, factor in our success on Sunday was, the obvious, I think, was running the football, right, and being able to control the game. That was the biggest thing for us. We haven't had that in a while, and so for us to be able to do that, you see how the game flows much better for us when we're able to, line up and run the football.
And the Texans will next host the Bears Sunday night at 7:20. Chicago allowed 140 yards rushing to the Titans in the Bears' Week 1 win. Jim Wacker Field at UFCU Stadium in San Marcos is packed right now with Texas State fans hoping their team can beat the Arizona State Sun Devils tonight. Texas State is 2-0 after beating Lamar 34-27 and UTSA 49-10. Eat-em-up Cats finally knocked off the Roadrunners, but they had to move on quickly from that win with a very good Big 12 team invading Wacker Field on a short week.
Yeah, I think for us, because of the quality opponent that's coming in here, it's one of those good and bad things. It's like, it's good because our guys are able to focus and lock in and get ready to go, but it's also bad because the opponent is so good. So it's going to be a really big challenge for us. And like you said, I mean, that was a huge game for us Saturday. Being able to lock in and focus and get ready for Thursday has been the message, all week.
Stage is all set. Texas State will host Arizona State tonight at 6:30, and the Bobcats are favored by 2.5 points. Big game coverage. Week 3 kicks off tonight. One of the matchups we'll see is Luling taking on Burbank tonight at SAISD Sports Complex. The Bulldogs are 1-1 after topping Veterans Memorial 31-24 last week. We'll have highlights and scores tonight on the Night Beat. And tomorrow night, we plan to get 14 games, including our game of the week, 2-0 John Jay at 2-0 South San. And it's the District 14 5A1 opener for both squads. That's tomorrow night at 7:30.
Can't wait.
Me either.
All right. Thanks, Larry.
Thank you. We'll be right back with Doc Talk after the break.
Every Thursday, we do Doc Talk, and it can be a traumatic experience when you have a child that is sick and you don't know what to do. So we're going to take it to the experts for some of these questions.
And the expert is right here in house with us, Dr. Alex Henry. He's the emergency department physician with Christus Children's Hospital. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
So we'll start with a question from Liliana. She's asking, what kind of treatments can I give my baby for his dry skin? And she also wants to know if fragrance-free face lotion is okay.
This is a wonderful question. There are 3 things that I want parents to know about taking care of dry skin. The first is that you want to use a water-based lotion of some kind. Examples include Aquaphor, Dermaphor, Vaseline, Aveeno, and those lotions are going to lock moisture into the skin. You can use it like a barrier to keep the skin moist throughout the day, 2, 3, even 4 times a day. Second, you want to avoid any alcohol-based lotions. If isopropyl alcohol or ethanol is high on the list of ingredients in a lotion, then I wouldn't use that for dry skin. And then, so you'll have to check that bottle and see, is this face lotion that she has at home, something that's more water-based or more alcohol-based? And third, I think that picking the right soap and the right detergent is really important in taking care of sensitive skin. So fragrance-free is on the right track. I think that's always a great choice because it keeps the skin from getting irritated. Dove bar soap or CeraVe are good examples of a gentle soap that you can use for a baby.
I do have a follow-up question for that. So at what age could you transition your child into using the adult products that everyone else in the house uses?
Every baby I think is a little different. It's something that if you find if you hit a year of age and you're using a more generic soap, but they're still getting really itchy or dry or ashy, then you should probably go back to using a gentle soap. I think there are plenty of adults who have to use it as well.
Yeah, and just when you even talked about detergent, I think that's a lot of people don't necessarily think about that, but it's a good idea. All right, next question. My son is on ADHD medication. He sometimes has loud or physical outbursts. Is this normal?
Now, I think this is a really wonderful question to have. It's very interesting, and a diagnostician like myself loves to hear it because those outbursts could mean a few different things. Of course, it's impossible to make a firm diagnosis just hearing the question.
Right.
But the first thing that comes to mind when I think about a child with ADHD who's having vocal outbursts or outbursts is, could this be tics or vocalizations that might be associated with a syndrome called Tourette's syndrome? ADHD is very common, Tourette's is uncommon, but children who have ADHD are much more likely to have Tourette's syndrome. And so if these outbursts look like twitches or brief spasms and these vocalizations are brief, then it could be a sign of Tourette's. One way or another, I certainly think that this parent needs to follow up with their pediatrician so that they can discuss this in more detail and try and find out whether that might be the case or that something else going on might warrant further evaluation.
Or maybe change the medication.
It's possible, but really when it comes to something like Tourette's, it's associated more with the ADHD and less with the medications. When we've looked in studies in the past, we haven't really found an association between the medicine use and vocalizations, tics, or spasms. But again, it's very hard to say just based on the question alone. It's going to need an interview.
Yep.
Next question here. What is the best teething hack for babies?
That's also, I think, really useful. Teething is a universal problem. Every parent, I think, has to go through this at some point, and it can be a nightmare to deal with. So there are a few different things that you can do. I think the first thing that I always recommend are, teething toys. I really like the freezable teething toys. Something that's cold, it helps with a little bit of inflammation. You can find ones that, part of it freezes and part of it doesn't, so it isn't uncomfortable for the baby to hold. They can, put it in and out of their mouth as they see fit. If all else fails, if your baby is really fussy from teething in the middle of the night, you're not getting any sleep, they're not getting any sleep, then don't be afraid to use a little bit of Tylenol. Just follow the instructions on the label, and if you find yourself using it more than 2-3 times a week, you should probably follow up with your pediatrician.
So some of the old school ways of, rubbing whiskey on the gums and things like that, I'm guessing you don't necessarily recommend.
We joke about it, but we don't recommend it. Now, I did have an old doc when I trained who just said take a clean rag, soak it in water, put it in the freezer, and give it to baby to chew on. And that's cheap, easy, effective, and available.
It sounds like the teething toys you were talking about that you could freeze is just kind of like a hack on that.
Yeah, some of the old stuff still works great.
Yeah. Final question.
Flu vaccine.
Yeah, when should my child start getting the flu vaccine?
Well, the flu vaccine is available right now, and we're having an early outbreak of the flu in San Antonio. We've seen several cases come in over the summer, so I'm recommending that patients get it as soon as they're able to. It's available at any drugstore or any HEB, so save yourself 7 to 10 days of absolute misery. Go ahead and get it done before it hits your school.
Is there an age, though, where it's too young to get the flu
infection? Any age should
vaccine?
Be able to get the flu. I believe the cutoff is I don't remember at the top of my head whether it's 6 months or a year. But talk to your pediatrician. Even very young infants can get vaccinated.
That's what I was wondering. Dr. Alex Henry, Thanks so much for your time. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Christus Children's Baylor College of Medicine joining us, emergency department pediatrician with Christus.
And you know, we love this segment that we do every week because it gives us a chance to answer your questions directly. So if you have any questions for a doctor, scan the QR code that you see there on your screen, type up your questions, you send them to us, and that way we will relay those questions on to a medical professional.
Yeah, and thank you for indulging me with the whiskey question, because maybe if it's not good for the kids, maybe it'll work for the parents.
It's true.
Yeah, no, it's a joke.
Go ahead.
It's a joke. We'll be right back.
Not something you want to deal with, but imagine going to a routine dental exam and finding out that you have a problem that could result in losing your jaw, because that's exactly what happened to one football player during his preseason dental screening.
As Stephanie Cerner reports, it's why UT Health San Antonio is raising awareness on the importance of routine care, not just for athletes, for everyone.
He was a quarterback, and we had made impressions, and it looked like the impression had some distortion.
It's a story that sounds more like a nightmare.
And there was a giant mass in the roof of his mouth, and it ended up being a giant cell granuloma, which that could have potentially made him lose his entire upper jaw if not detected.
Dr. Scott Stafford is an associate dean for patient care at UT Health San Antonio School of Dentistry. He says he discovered that tumor during a student athlete's preseason dental screening, even though that athlete had just been to his family dentist 4 months earlier.
So it's a very aggressive, very rapidly growing tumor. We were able to coordinate his care, get him in with some of the oral surgeons here at UT Health San Antonio, and through their quick actions and treating him with some different medications, he didn't lose his upper jaw.
So aside from that preseason physical, Dr. Stafford says athletes really need to be thinking about their dental health.
We want to make sure they're at their peak performance, both dentally as well as physically.
Dr. Stafford, along with his team of dental students and faculty, worked this summer to get UTSA football players fitted for mouth guards by taking impressions using digital scanning. But these checkups also allowed them to identify players who needed work.
And so looking for any possibility, especially in that age range, of maybe wisdom teeth that could cause a problem, or decay that's present, or anything like that that could sideline them during the season.
Stephanie Cerna, KSAT 12 News.
Hey, a live look outside there right now, 94 degrees. Yeah, we're dealing with summer-like temperatures again. Our Adam Caskey's here to help us deal with the rest of the week.
And the rest of Thermometer Thursday.
Yes.
That's true. I've got a special one I've been working on for a bit that just finished up. Anyway, I want to point out that we are just a few days, 2 days past the peak of the hurricane season in the Atlantic Basin. And so far we've had, I think, 6 named storms. And there's a little bit of activity out there, and even some in the eastern Pacific that we're going to take a look at, as we could get some remnant moisture. We'll be back in just a bit.
All right, it's that time of the week. Thermometer Thursday.
Thursday.
Dun, dun, dun. Finally, I've been able to get some work done, and I actually did start work on the thermometer ornaments. I started that a few weeks ago. Yeah, I've been calibrating them now, but I've been able to get some work done. Finished up one therm. Okay, anyway, let's get to our dew point trend, because it's going to be remaining humid out there. We had that brief 2.5 day break from the mugginess, and it's back. I know it's not oppressive, that's a good thing, but we're in that muggy category. It's just something we're used to and we'll have to stay accustomed to for several more days. I wish that humidity would translate to some rain for us. We just don't have all the necessary ingredients to go along with it. The remnants of what was Category 2 Hurricane Francine made landfall about 25 hours ago along the Louisiana coastline. Now the remnants, the leftovers, basically a lot of rain and some thunderstorms pushing northward up the Mississippi River. And the remnants are really going to be stuck in the southeastern U.S. because of this blocking upper level high. It's going to stall the remnants of Francine from really doing much other than meandering around the southeastern U.S., dumping some rain where they need it. They have drought conditions in that part of the country. But I want to focus on another feature, actually. A trophy pattern, a long wave trough, a dip in the upper level flow that's going to dig down into the southwestern U.S. and actually bring some cooler temperatures. I wish that would make it here and pull some of that cooler air southward into Texas. We're going to be under this ridge. See that bump in the upper level flow? So we're going to remain warm and above average around here. But we're talking from basically the next 6 to 10 days, temperatures above average here and all the way up the midsection of the country. But in that big trough, it shows you what happens. Temperatures dipping below average in the western U.S. and very likely well below average even in parts of the desert Southwest. And I was looking at it, Phoenix, the average is around like 97 degrees right now, and they could be a good 10 degrees cooler than that. So a little bit of a break for them. It's just a sign that we're starting to see some of those cool fronts and that cooler air drop southward. Around here, upper 90s next few days, just a few degrees shy of the record high temperatures. We'll be up to 98 on Saturday. But when you factor in the humidity, for a few hours in the afternoon, the heat index, that feels like temperature, could be a little above 100 degrees. So something to keep in mind because the humidity's back. I mentioned earlier we have Tropical Depression 7 way out in the eastern Atlantic, and just a few areas the Hurricane Center has noted to keep an eye on, but low end of developing into our next tropical system in the Atlantic. And I mentioned earlier in the eastern Pacific, Ileana, that's headed northward toward Cabo San Lucas as a tropical storm and likely to remain a tropical storm and a fairly low end one. Now, as it heads northward, its remnant upper level moisture is likely to arc into Texas by this weekend, and you'll notice some extra cirrus clouds in the sky. If we were lucky, we could squeeze out a stray shower Sunday, Monday, but that's more likely down in deep South Texas. Tomorrow morning, 73, humid, then clear, sunny, warm, 90 at noon, 97 the high temperature, and along the Rio Grande, back to triple digits, about 102 Del Rio down to Eagle Pass. Unfortunately, we only have that 10% chance of rain Sunday and Monday. So I mentioned earlier I finally been able to get some work done, and I present to you the EAA Edwards Aquifer Authority thermometer. We work a lot with the EAA, the folks over there. Actually, they're just down the street from us, but we work with them a lot. And Justin Horn does a lot of stories with them about the water issues and water topics in our area. A very important topic for us around here. And now they have their very own thermometer to hang on their walls. I know my friend Nikki's going to be happy to finally get this in her hands and put this on the wall. So thank you.
Who wouldn't be?
Right? Thank you for the partnership, EAA. Anyway, that one's finally done. And this one right here, Melissa Anthony of Elmendorf. You won this homemade thermometer. Go to ksat.com/thermometer to enter the drawing. And again, I've been working on even the ornament ones lately and starting to get those ready for the Christmas giveaway.
Awesome. Look forward to that. Those are always fun to get.
A lot of sock swinging lately.
Yeah, I've noticed.
Got to get the new sock broken in there. All right, coming up in the buzz, a penguin on the run. We'll tell you about it. To the buzz, and a runaway penguin has been found safe in Japan nearly 2 weeks after she first went missing. The 6-year-old penguin known as Pen was born and raised in captivity, traveling with staff in August when she escaped in open waters. She's more on the swim than on the run, I guess. Miraculously, the arrival of Typhoon Shanahan helped keep her safe.
So the penguin avoided hitting boats and getting caught in fishing nets. The record rainfall from that storm helped the penguin with hydration also. On Sunday, someone saw Pen swimming near a beach where she first went missing. She wasn't hurt. She was in good physical shape after she made the 28-mile journey through that storm.
It's an open and shut case. Thank you. Thank you, Adam. Yeah.
So Jared Isaacman has just made history. The billionaire tech CEO has concluded the world's first commercial spacewalk as part of SpaceX's Polaris Dawn mission. Isaacman exited the capsule into the vacuum of space for about 10 minutes, and while he was peering out, he said, "Back at home, we all have a lot of work to do, but from here, looks like a perfect world."
I cannot imagine how nervous she would have to be. Isaacman did some bending around to test out the new spacesuit, all 4 crew members being exposed to the vacuum of space. But only Isaacman and SpaceX engineer Sarah Gillis left the capsule. Crewmates Scott Kidd Poteet and Anna Menon, they stayed inside.
What a view. We'll be right back.
Back to triple digits along the Rio Grande, and that's not heat index, that's actual air temperature. Del Rio 102, along with Carrizo Springs, Cotulla, Eagle Pass, making it up to 101, and just a few degrees shy elsewhere. For the most part, we'll be 97 here in San Antonio. And today in New Braunfels was just a degree shy as well. Summer-like, sunny, and dry.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us. We'll see you right back here on the next week.
See you at 10.